What is going on, everybody? We are back with well, actually, we're not even back. We're here with our very first CCW historical wrestling review. Last
Yes.
last time when we did the pick, it was landed on 2017's Hell in a Cell, which is the logo you are currently looking at on the screen. There is actually a slideshow that goes along with this. Joe gets to watch it for the first time as well, so that's fun.
Noise.
This ah is going to be a fun ride because there's some really, really good wrestling, and then there's just
And some really not so
some
good.
really boring slog. It
Yes.
it took me 2 days to watch it.
It took me 3.
Oh man, you spread it out further than I did. I probably should, if it's a bad one, do that next time.
The first day was not too bad because, well, honestly, the first day I watched half of it,
That's what I did.
but it took me 2 days to get through the second half.
He got through that gender match and was like, you know what? I'll finish this tomorrow.
It's like you were there or something almost.
Anyways, yeah, so this is Hell in a Cell 2017. Oh, by the way, I'm Nick.
Oh, and I'm Joe.
And yeah, we're here to talk about Hell in a Cell. So yeah, this is Hell in a Cell 2017. Boop. Took place October 8th, 2017 in Detroit, Michigan at the time newly built Little Caesars Arena. It had only been open, I believe it was 2 months. So they were one of the first real big events in that arena. I believe that's the Pistons' home, isn't it?
Given that it's in Detroit, Michigan, I would say so.
Um,
I don't think they play at the Palace of Auburn Hills anymore. Now I'm
the
curious.
official attendance is listed as 16,206. It also might be their hockey stadium.
Yeah, that's where they that's where they play now.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's probably where the Red Wings play as well.
So yeah, it has an official attendance of 16,206. Again, that's just what's recorded. Obviously, I don't think there's ever been any accuracy in anyone's attendance records ever.
Oh, they keep them. WWE just doesn't give you the actual figure.
Right. This
They inflate everything.
The theme song for this pay-per-view. This was actually the second year in a row they used a song called "Breaking Out of Hell" by Airborne. And our commentators for this were Tom Phillips, Byron Saxon, and Corey Greaves. Which, by the way,
Yeah, there you go.
straight out the gate, I actually enjoyed this specific commentary team more than probably any commentary team I've heard in like the last 3 years.
Tom Phillips was not a bad commentator.
I almost want him to get hired by like AEW or come back to WWE somewhere. Get back on TV because he didn't do bad.
No, he was not a bad commentator.
Commentating was not my problem with this show at all. Uh, Also, by the way, I hate the pay-per-view stage setup. This is just a SmackDown stage. Originally, I liked it because I was like, "Oh, this looks really cool." And then they showed scenes from SmackDown, and it was literally the exact same setup. And I was like, "Oh no, this was just SmackDown setup."
It's literally just a different theme.
And I hate this. I've always hated this. Dude, pay-per-views are supposed to, or PLEs, are supposed to, and actually, technically, this was still a pay-per-view as well as a PLE. This is when they were still doing pay-per-views and having their shows air for free on the network. And yeah, I was not a fan of this stage setup. So yeah, moving on. Boop. Our first match was the WWE SmackDown. By the way, this is all a SmackDown pay-per-view.
Yeah, this was still when they had brand specific pay-per-views or
Yes.
PLEs.
This first match was the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. It was the opening Hell in a Cell match. It was the New Day, which was Xavier Woods, Big E, and Kofi Kingston, versus Jimmy and Jay Uso. And when we looked at the match card for this match, we were like, that's probably going to be the match of the night. And guess what? It
It
absolutely
was.
was. Not only is this match of the night, as far as all of the Hell in a Cells that I've seen, it is probably a top 4 Hell in a Cell for me.
Well, it's certainly the best tag team one.
It's the first one to ever be a tag team championship match. I actually think it's the first tag Hell in a Cell as well. Now, yeah, so this is the first time the tag titles were defended in a Hell in a Cell. I forgot the to note part. And yeah, this was 2016's Hell in a Cell was exclusively held as a Raw pay-per-view. This one is exclusively held as a SmackDown pay-per-view. So those are some fun little side notes. So the story leading into this match, the Usos had beat the New Day at SummerSlam for the SmackDown Tag Titles. And then they ended up wanting. There ended up being like a rematch that was wanted. The Usos ended up beating the New Day on SmackDown and got to choose the stipulation for the rematch of the titles and chose Street Fight. And then the following week lost the titles in the match that they chose on SmackDown in that Street Fight. At which point, they wanted their rematch, and the New Day chose for it to be a Hell in a Cell match at the pay-per-view. And that's how we got here.
This was the Usos penitentiary era of the Usos.
Yes. Straight out the day, New Day starts off talking for 3 to 4, or straight out the gate, not day. New Day starts off talking for 3 to 4 minutes, running through their normal shtick as they did for so many years.
Yeah, don't you dare be sour.
At this time, they were the faces in this match, and the Usos were the heels. At least that's what it felt like. No, actually, I don't know.
No, you had that about. They were both kind of tweeners.
Yeah.
New Day was by far the baby faces, though.
Right.
They were just kind of these two teams were rivals.
Yes.
Like in every sense of the word.
Yes, they were. They carried the honestly WWE's entire tag division for like 10 years.
Or at least 5 years.
Yeah,
anyways.
at least 5. The Usos were still on their day one-ish whole thing, and their theme song hasn't changed much. Not even since back then. They came out, and I fucking went, ugh. Because it's pretty much just the same song. Oos. It's just a little different.
It's just me, Oos.
So a couple moments during the match that I did want to talk about that I did enjoy. Big E hit his spear through the ropes into the cell, and it actually bent the cell. I missed that spear. I always thought it was so dangerous for his big ass to be doing it. And every time he's ever done it, I like clinch, and I'm like, oh, please don't hurt yourself.
It turns out it wasn't that we should have been worried about. It was Ridge Holland.
Right. To be fair, it's not like he did it on purpose.
I know.
Xavier Woods ended up breaking 2 Francescas over Jay.
Francesca was the horn, by the way. Just in case you weren't around for that.
There was a pretty good tag team spot where Big E did a Urigami off the apron to the outside onto Xavier's knees, who slid underneath for it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it was so well done. New Day then basically locked Jay into the corner of the cell using kendo sticks, which I thought was a really creative way to get him out of the match for a little bit.
Yep, 3 kendo sticks through the mesh of the fence, trapping him in the corner. It was unique.
Yeah. Hey, none of that back there, Miss Ma'am. There was a tag team spot where Jimmy put Big E on his shoulders on the outside and then Jay dove through the ropes and basically torpedoed Big E into the cell that I thought looked pretty cool. The Usos hung Xavier on the turnbuckle LED screen with handcuffs and took turns beating him with kendo sticks, which made me laugh. And then lastly, the last thing that I have written down as far as interesting match spots, the Usos did a double Uso splash for the win on Xavier after they put a chair on top of him.
Yep.
Match ran 22 minutes. And yeah, all things considered, I thought it was a hell of a match. It had a really nice flow to it. These men came out, started the PLE off strong, and really set the bar as far as performance goes for the rest of the night, and no one matched it. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say, considering AJ's wrestles later on.
Well, that match is the second best match in this pay-per-view.
Right. Yeah. No, I thought it was a fantastic match, and dude, it actually has me excited to go back and watch more of their matches and pay-per-views later down the line. I hope it's not soon, but they really killed it. They really did. Like, you almost forget how well they worked together because of how long it's been since the Usos have tagged, how long it's been since Big E's been gone. Like, I really miss Big E even more now. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. You got any opinions?
I pretty much agree with everything you said. This was a pretty good match. Yeah, it had good spots, innovative spots. They didn't overdo it.
Right.
It wasn't extremely long. It was fine.
All right. After that match, there's actually a pretty fire WWE 2K18 ad for those of you that don't know. Snoop Dogg did a rap for it, and I forgot how great it was that WWE used to actually put some time into their advertising. And then we get a backstage segment where Kayla Braxton was backstage with AJ Styles, and she asked about his thoughts with Daniel Bryan being adding because he was the SmackDown GM at the time. He added Ty Dillinger in the match during the pre-show, and he was not happy, but he's gonna win. He's gonna win. And this is something right here.
Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger.
This is something that I miss from WWE pay-per-views and PLEs. They don't do these like little backstage segments anymore. It's all, we're going to talk to our sports panel while the next match is getting ready. Also, we will never cover the pre-show, guys, so because that's a whole nother hour I don't want to watch.
So do they even have? I don't think they have that on the.
No, you have to go watch
the things anyway.
They have it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, no, fuck that.
So yeah, we didn't watch. There was a match that Shelton Benjamin was in that probably was a pretty good match, but it was on the pre-show, and I wasn't going to go back and watch the pre-show. After that, we get Randy Orton versus Rusev. And it's Rusev Day. Happy Rusev Day, everybody.
It's Rusev Day.
So this pay-per-view is the culmination of a couple of really popular things that happened in wrestling, and this is one of them. So at SummerSlam, Orton beat Rusev in 10 seconds. At a later SmackDown Live, Orton lost to Rusev in 9 seconds after he had already had a match with Aiden English. Then a week later, Rusev was presented the key to his hometown by the Bulgarian mayor, and Aiden was on hand to sing a song and proclaim it was Rusev Day, and this is where Rusev Day started.
Yep.
Was the SmackDown before this pay-per-view. And then, or I don't know if it was right before this one, but it was one of the SmackDowns before this pay-per-view. Orton came out, RKO'd them both, and that's when they set up the match. We get a spot where Orton was going for his comeback. He goes to do his power slam portion of it. Rusev held onto the ropes, and Orton went down on his fucking face. Made me laugh. But I mean, Rusev got the power slam shortly after, so it is what it is.
That he did.
Rusev hit a really nice running Machka kick on the outside of the ring. I don't think they called it a Machka kick back then, though. They didn't really have a name for it at all.
Yeah, it's just a big kick.
Randy Orton was setting up for the RKO. Rusev did have a really cool thing, though. So Randy's setting up for the RKO, but Rusev grabs his arms and starts to pull him into the accolade. Orton ends up slithering out, though. Hits the RKO anyways. Match ran for 11 minutes and 40 seconds. And guys, I'm going to be honest. This match was boring. It was really boring.
It was your typical Randy Orton, just slow, methodical, not very entertaining match. And there was nothing Rusev was going to do to change that.
Right. And honestly, I don't find Randy Orton boring for the most part.
His match style, his methodical pace and stuff is boring.
I feel like he counteracts that with some
be-
really fun moves, though. Like, I love the draping DDT.
Yeah, he's got good moves, but he also has a lot of rest holds
And let's be real, a Randy Orton match, you're really just watching to see when the hell and how he's going to hit an RKO at this point.
yeah.
Because this was within the time that he was doing those like crazy WrestleMania RKOs out of nowhere and shit. Because this is 2017. Hell, even before then. When did he hit that one where Seth went to go do the curb stomp to him, and he pushed up?
Oh, that would have been WrestleMania.
It would have been within a couple years of this.
Cash in. That would have been the year that Seth did the cash in. So that was years before this. What was that 2015?
Might have. Yeah, I was gonna say a couple years. It would have been within a couple years of this.
I want to say 2015's Mania, but don't quote me on it.
Right. But yeah, but it was just a normal RKO, so it wasn't all that spectacular. And it's one of those things you knew who was going to win this match. You knew Rusev was not going to be getting put over on a pay-per-view, on a PLE pay-per-view, whatever, over Randy Orton. You just knew it wasn't going to happen.
Okay, so WrestleMania 31 in 2015. Look at that.
Nice. So, after that, boop. We got a couple commercials. The first one was just a stupid TLC advertisement. It was fun, but it was.
I didn't know you were going to include the commercials and vignettes in between the things.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So we get a TL because it's still a part of the flow of the show, right?
So there's going to be some good ones later then.
Oh yeah. So we get a TLC commercial, which is. It was just like a statistical type TLC commercial where they were just running through all the statistics, which they still do for every major event to this day. But the KFC commercial was amazing. So this was back when Kurt Angle had just came back, or had just come back to do stuff with the WWE, and he was doing a press conference, and Heath Slater shows up in a chicken costume.
Yep. I got kids.
Poor Heath. Oh, dude, he got. He took the shit into the stick and ran with it as far as he could, man.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle was also dressed up as Colonel Sanders, and it was just a fun time. It was, dude. KFC was putting together some really. KFC and WWE were doing a really good job at this time of putting some. Really good KFC commercials together.
Yeah, their collab was pretty good.
Probably one of my favorite collabs in WWE. Probably in the history of WWE, just because the commercials were fun.
Right. You got like your Slim Jim, those old commercials. I don't like the new ones very much.
No, the new ones suck.
But the old Macho Man ones, and then you got this. And I'm sure there's some more that I'm missing, but like those stick out.
Also, we get just a small segment of Shane mentally preparing for the match. Nothing major there. Match number 3 is the WWE United States Championship match. It is AJ Styles, who is the champion, versus Baron Corbin and versus Ty Dillinger. And this okay. So to lead up to the match, AJ reinstated the U.S. Championship Open Challenge.
Yep.
It was answered by both Ty Dillinger and Baron Corbin at the same time, but Ty was the technical first one out. So AJ beat him. And then Corbin attacked Dillinger after the match. The next week, Dillinger faced Corbin, and Corbin won by cheating. AJ offered Ty Dillinger a match the following week again, and during the match, Corbin tried to interfere, but AJ thwarted him and then still continued to go on and beat Ty Dillinger. Corbin then attacked them both and said he was next. After some more Corbin and Ty attacking each other through the coming weeks, Corbin then went and beat Ty Dillinger due to a countout. And because he won, the match was scheduled for Corbin and Styles at Hell in a Cell. Now, the Friday night before Hell in a Cell, Ty ended up beating Corbin on a roll-up. And during the pre-show to this show, Dillinger got Daniel Bryan, who was the SmackDown GM, to put himself in the U.S. title match because he beat Corbin cleanly on the night before. It was sloppy. As far as the way the story was told, it was real messy. Which was intentional.
Yeah, it sounds very convoluted.
It's a very WWE thing. It's just a wrestling thing. It's the setup doesn't bother me, but for somebody that like was not watching wrestling at this time and reading how all of this went down, I was like, what? Huh?
So that's a lot.
At this point, they also, by the way, announced Funaki was on the Japanese announced team, and as he was talking, I went, "Indeed," because I couldn't help myself.
Indeed.
And if you weren't alive for the Attitude Era, you have no clue what we're talking about. There was a fun.
Hell, I don't even know if the Attitude Era. That may have been like early Ruthless Aggression.
Oh, it might have been. So there was a fun spot where Ty went to go monkey flip AJ. AJ landed on his feet, and then Corbin went to clothesline Ty afterwards. And then AJ started running towards Corbin, who alley-ooped him over his head, and AJ ended up clotheslining Ty out of it. Just a really fun and well-timed spot. AJ ends up hitting a phenomenal forearm to the outside of the ring onto Corbin. Corbin had two of my favorite moves in the history of fucking wrestling, I swear. He hit
a deep six.
Absolutely. Corbin hit a deep six on Ty, and then a choke slam backbreaker on AJ. It was a nice little back-to-back segment. AJ hits a phenomenal forearm on Ty, and then Corbin booted the fuck out of AJ, guys. Like,
yeah. So he was supposed to boot him out of the ring. AJ didn't go the first time, so he really made sure he got out of there the second time. He booted the fuck out of him.
AJ falls out of the ring. Corbin got the 3 count and became new U.S. champion. Match lasted almost 20 minutes. It was 19 minutes and 20 seconds long. Overall, I thought the match was pretty decent. It did not have the so the Rusev Orton match absolutely felt like it should have just been on TV and not on a PLE. This one didn't have that same feeling. This one at least felt like a pretty decent pay-per-view match.
I would agree. I like this match. This was my second favorite match of the night.
This was back when I actually liked Corbin.
I hate his hair. I'm so glad he ended up cutting it all off.
Oh, see, I liked the stringy hair more than bald Corbin.
Oh, I liked bald Corbin better.
I mean, he was already going. I mean, he was going bald Corbin, and now he's just bald Corbin.
Yep.
I just think he made a really good big man. He had a really good athleticism
he was a good
to him.
Worker. Yeah, he was a good worker.
And like I said, he had 2 of my favorite moves in wrestling at the time.
Booking was never super great for him.
Mm-mm.
But like, as far as like his work in the ring, was solid.
Oh yeah. His time in NXT was amazing.
Yeah, the lone wolf.
Um.
He's the one man
Uh.
wolf pack.
Yeah, and that's what I had mentioned. I said I know he almost always has been, but he was treated as more of a joke towards the end of his time in WWE than actually worth a
Well,
damn.
he was. Remember when he was like GM of Smack or of Raw, and he
Yeah.
just kept butting up against the fucking. I about called him the corporation. What the hell were they called?
It was the
The
McMahons.
Mc. There was the McMahon family essentially.
Um. Chain slide. Boop. Yeah, we get a Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Awareness Month commercial and segment. Which I'm kind of bummed they don't. I don't think they do anymore. At least I didn't notice it
Oh,
during October.
they were called the Authority. That's what they were called.
Ah. Um, but I was sitting here and I wasn't putting two and two together because I didn't know the exact date. And I was like, man, why is there a pink rope in the middle of the fucking ring? Makes no sense.
Because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
And then I got this commercial and I was like, oh, it must be October.
Yeah, they don't have time to do that anymore. They're too busy pushing some fucking Prime energy drink or some other of 8 advertisements they've
Yeah.
got posted around the ring.
Yeah, they don't feel like doing things nice for people anymore. It's all about money. All about money. And then the match I was most looking forward, or second most looking forward to, ended up being my stinker of the fucking night.
It was not it, so it was not good. Uh, it was a very slow paced,
It
grinding to a halt, submissiony match between two
technician
second
wrestlers.
generation wrestlers. Yeah,
So to get to this point, Natalia had won the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam by beating Naomi. Um, she had retained it on a subsequent SmackDown defense as well. The following week, Flair was commenting on her dad's real life medical issues at the time because her dad was in the hospital. And it was a real situation with her dad where everybody thought Flair was going to be passing away. Like, it was not looking good for him at the time. Obviously, he
very true.
is still
One of
very,
the many times Flair has almost
yeah,
died.
he's still very much kicking, but at this time, it was not looking good for the man. Um, during her thing, Natalia interrupted to talk about her being champion. And Charlotte basically wanted a title match because of this. But Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Tamina all also wanted title shots. Charlotte ended up winning a 4-way with the aforementioned ladies and gained a title shot at Hell in a Cell. Pretty straightforward setup. Not
Right?
nothing crazy, nothing super convoluted. Just straight up, she won a 4-way dance. She gets the title match. Um. So, uh, some things I wanted to point out for the match, spot wise, and if there's ever spots that I don't mention that you want to bring up, feel free to jump in. Uh, Natalia did a pretty good job of just working on Charlotte's leg for the sharpshooter because that's what she was setting up for. There was a
And he
really,
kind of
excuse me,
just whooped her ass most of this match, honestly.
she did. There was a good power bomb from Natty to Charlotte. That looked pretty solid. Charlotte hit a moonsault from the top rope to the outside after selling the knee all match, which made me laugh.
Can't say, but you're good enough to do a moonsault to the outside and land on your feet.
Yeah, I mean she landed and fell on her butt, but it's and continued to try to sell the leg. But I just don't feel like that's something you do if your leg's hurting that bad.
I'll tell Hangman that too.
And then I basically put it was mostly a boring slog of a match due to, again, I don't mind selling things during a match, but when it gets too extensive and then you drag the match out for like 13 minutes, and it's just it was boring to me. And I was talking to Joe about this. I am not a fan of WWE Natty. And I never have been. She's never been presented as the kind of wrestler that she showed in her one AAA match that we got to see. Like I turned that on and
No.
she looked like a badass. She was all over the ring. She was wrestling well. It was fast paced and she was killing it.
Yep. Sad thing
WWE.
is, she's always been that, but they've watered her down to just like this. You're a heart, so you're going to be this derivative of a heart.
Right. And if you remember, this was this before or after the farting gimmick?
I don't even want to acknowledge that that happened and existed.
I want to say I think this was after. Because I feel like the farting gimmick was like 2012, 2013 type shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't even want to even think about it.
but like, I was just going into it specifically to point out WWE's
Made her
desire
kind of a joke.
to never present this woman as somebody I ever would give a fuck about. Like, I absolutely have respect for the family and the family name. Obviously, you know, we got Brett, we got Owen, rest in peace. We got honestly, rest in peace, most of the family. We
Or for sure.
we've got
Bulldog was a family
Bulldog.
member.
We got Jim. We
Yeah.
got which was Natty's dad. We got my mind just blanked. There was the kid that was wrestling around this same time. Well, probably a little bit earlier than this. What was his name?
I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't. Tyson Kidd. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, Natty's husband.
Yeah. So yeah, they there's more than one royal family. As Cody would say, there's a lot actually, and Hart's one of them. But Natty, I have never liked ever, ever, and it's because WWE makes her into something she just doesn't need to be. After seeing the AAA match, I'm like, man, I want that Natty. That's the Natty I want.
Or the GCW Natty.
Yeah. Um, funny that we watched this all, by the way. So a few days ago on Twitter, somebody had posted a video of these kids. They were like backyard wrestling. And by backyard wrestling, they were doing moves in like their living room and stuff and outside and things like that. And it wasn't their kids. It was just pictures, videos, a little small compilation of kids like doing wrestling moves and whatnot. And you could tell the duality of man because like Cornette hated it. He had commented on Twitter on it, and he was like, "Oh, these kids are just one move away from spending the rest of their life in a wheelchair or some shit." Like he was being way over dramatic about it, as Cornette does.
He is set in his ways.
Yeah, he is. And then there was Will Ospreay, who quote tweeted the exact same tweet and was like, "I support this." So, anyways,
So there's a line. Kids are going to do what they do, but you shouldn't,
I don't.
as a performer, you shouldn't promote it. you should not care whether it happens or not because it's going to regardless. But
Yes, it is, guys. We
it's
backyard
not,
wrestled.
It's not a good. Yeah, absolutely. Just like most wrestling fans, when you're a youth, you wrestle with each other, friends, siblings, etc. But as a performer, you shouldn't promote it, just in case something happens.
So
But it's going to happen anyways.
the timing of all this made me laugh because I haven't seen one of these from WWE in a while. We got to please do not try this at home commercial.
And there's the thing I was waiting to talk about: the fashion police.
And then we get the dumbest fucking thing of the entire night. Like, the dumbest. Guys,
These things were funny back in the day.
listen, as somebody that wasn't watching at the time, I obviously see Cesaro in the background missing teeth, so that was funny. Like, I love the picture, right? But it's called The Fashion File, starring Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Sorry. Uh, and this episode is called The Return, and it's basically the Ascension. They bring a poster for them to look at, and
And this is when the Ascension was buried.
they unrolled it, and it was a picture of the Ascension, and it said, "Can we please be friends?" or something along those lines. And at that point, the two, both Fandango and Breeze, talked mad shit about the Ascension, talking about how terrible they are. Now, I want you guys to understand something. The Ascension were in quote unquote disguise, which was just fake mustaches.
Yeah, it was very
They're
juvenile.
normal face paint and everything, but fake mustaches. And they end up taking their mustaches off, and they're like, "Man, we just wanted to be friends." And then Brizongo were trying to pretend like they felt bad or something, and then they left, and then they were still pretty much thinking they were stupid. And then somebody brings them a suitcase, and they open the suitcase, and it's a gold light, which is obviously a Pulp Fiction reference.
Yep.
It was terribly unfunny.
It was just so different than anything else. I was like, "Oh, I remember these little skits," and then
I
now,
I'm
was this the funniest of the skits? No, but I appreciate this because these two guys were given just nothing
these four
and
guys.
made at least
Four
well,
guys were given nothing.
the four guys, but mainly Brizongo, because they did this week in and week out, were giving nothing and at least made something creative and halfway decent out of it.
Well, the problem is they had to be given something because neither of their personas were coming off as entertaining by most wrestling fans.
Well, Brizongo could go. They could wrestle their asses off, but their gimmick was stupid, yes.
You had Fandango, which was this generation's disco, in persona, not as a person. That's a whole nother thing.
Actually, I think that's kind of an insult to Disco because Disco had runs where he was pushed
Ugh.
and was a champion.
Yeah, listen, I thought disco was trash, but that's a whole nother thing. I was also not a WCW guy though.
Yeah. Disco didn't bother me until I realized he could talk and talked a lot
Oh
and
yeah, he
talked a
does.
lot of dumb shit.
Yeah, he does. To this day, one of my favorite things ever on Twitter was Cody Rhodes lighting into his ass.
Ooh, you are a nobody. You rode on the
You've-
coattails of people much more talented than you.
He said you never
No
drew a
one
dime.
You never drew a dime. No one ever left a venue feeling anything about anything you ever did. Oh man, it was brutal. Brutal. Like I've never seen anybody get buried so hard.
Oh, it was great though, dude. It was great.
It was great and deserved.
Yeah, he was talking shit about what was it, independent wrestling at the time, and Cody was working in
Yeah,
Japan.
it was when he was still in AEW, or it was right before AEW's inception.
Right.
But man, it was brutal.
So then after that, our next match, which was runner-up to Stinker of the Night. Oh boy, woo!
Yeah.
We got the WWE Championship match, everybody. This is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal.
What a waste of Nakamura.
So this was at the time where people still loved Nakamura. He was, oh man, he has lost everything since all this though. Like nobody gives a shit about him anymore. However,
Mystique. There's no luster. This match was filled with just rest holds because Jinder gets blown up easy. And interference and just ugh.
so the story going into this match, not that I care, but we're gonna go over it anyways. Jinder beat Shinsuke at SummerSlam because the Singh brothers interfered. Daniel Bryan then made the Singh brothers wrestle Shinsuke. I about called him Sasuke. Shinsuke in a handicap match. Uh, after Shinsuke won, Mahal attacked, but then Shinsuke hit him with the Kinshasa and got away. At that point, Nakamura and Orton beat Mahal and Rusev in a tag match, but Orton hit Shinsuke with the RKO after the match. And at that point, they booked a number one contendership match between Shinsuke and Orton. Nakamura won that match. And then for the next 2 to 3 weeks, there were some segments between Nakamura and Jinder Mahal and the Singhs. Mahal would make fun of Shinsuke's expressions and articulations, which is fucked up, by the way. I just want to point that out there. And then
the foreign heel making fun of the foreign baby face's accent. That's crazy.
right. And at that point, Nakamura would try and fight them over it, and here we are. By the way, I just wanted to point this out. Shinsuke's music, old music, is still amazing.
Yep.
I love this theme song, and I miss it. I know he still has like a version of it. His music has just changed in style.
This is the closest it's been in a long time to the original.
But yeah, I loved this. It was so good. And I love that he does this thing where like he falls down in the ring and then he's so odd. The Singh brothers did Jinder's entrance kind of like how old boys, the other members of Imperium used to do Gunther's. I think it's all stupid. I'm so tired of hearing people that aren't the announcers do people's fucking entrances, dude. Whether it's Don Callis, whether it's the Singh brothers, whether it's fucking...
I have something important to say.
Whether it's fucking what's his face, Paul Heyman. So, anyways, with this match, there were an insane amount of rest holds. The crowd even started chanting "This is boring" at one point, which was amazing.
Yep.
At one point, Jinder had his head and neck dangling off the edge of the ring. Shinsuke goes to jump off the apron to knee Jinder's head, but Jinder left, and there is no way Shinsuke didn't have enough time to brace himself and like land on his feet before kneeing the floor. No way. Like you had like how tall is it from the floor to the edge of the apron? And he was
it's several feet.
And he was
3 feet at least.
Yeah, and he was mid-air, and you're telling me within the 3-foot fall span you couldn't like toe tap the ground and roll out of it? I get it. It's staged, it's all planned beforehand and stuff. But this is just one of those moments where I'm like, this was just dumb.
Yeah, don't disagree.
Ref ended up kicking the Singhs out of the arena, and Shinsuke hit the Kinshasa, which is an amazing move. If done right. If taken right. I don't think I've ever seen him not do it right, but I've seen some people not take it well.
Yep.
But yeah, so he hits the Kinshasa, and then he goes for the pin, but Mahal was close enough to the ropes that he grabbed the ropes.
Also the Singhs were still being ejected when he hit it, so the ref is delayed and has to kind of run in to get the pin, and Jinder grabs the bottom rope.
Shinsuke goes to knee Jinder into the turnbuckle, but Jinder moves and then hits the Colossus, which is his finisher, which is just a Cobra Clutch Slam.
Yep.
And he won. And
that he did.
The match ran for 12 minutes and 10 segments. This review ran for about 6 minutes, and I want every one of those minutes back. Moving on.
And then you get the next match is a buffer match between it and the main event.
The next segment is Kevin Owens is backstage. And he's basically talking about himself being the most dangerous and unforgiving man in the most dangerous and unforgiving match. His problems with the McMahons. He looks forward to teaching Shane a lesson. Pretty good promo, if I'm being honest. Makes me miss KO. I don't.
Yep.
KO's amazing.
He's probably still many, many months, if not a year away.
Yeah. I miss that man, though. He's so good.
He is. This was around the time where he headbutted McMahon, and that's what led to this match.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. That was the other moment that that I was talking about as far as legendary things in WWE that have happened that still get talked about today. Match 6, Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Roode. And here's the story. At the time, Ziggler was impersonating wrestlers' entrances because he said that that's all the crowd cared for. Also saying,
boy, he ain't wrong. That's still true to today.
Also saying he is the best in-ring performer, which, to be honest, at the time, he had every right to think of himself that way.
Yeah.
Dude, I have
He's still probably in the upper echelon.
I have been a huge Ziggler fan for like 15, 16 years. Always, like,
yeah.
When he won the world title, I was so happy he won the world title.
Yeah, he just, every time he got his big push, he got hurt.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved this specifically, especially going back and watching it now, because it is even more true today than it was back then. It's insane. It's like he read the future and the present. Whatever. So, new NXT call-up, Bobby Roode complimented Ziggler's in-ring work, but asked for a match at Hell in a Cell to prove it. Pretty straightforward. That was it. No crazy shenanigans, no bullshit. Just, hey, you say you're the best, prove it to me.
Sadly, Bobby Roode is probably much older than Dolph Ziggler.
Yes, at this point, he was. This was towards the end of Bobby Roode's career as a wrestler.
Yeah, he's an agent.
Yep. I want everybody to know that I rerouted and watched Bobby's entrance 3 times. Because listen, his theme song.
He's 4 years older than Dolph.
His theme song is so amazing.
Glorious.
And then I went and watched it a 4th time after the match was over because I forgot to get a picture for the slideshow. So I went back and got it. Also, I love that Dolph he let his music play but didn't come out, and then it stopped. It did like the records rewind thing, and then all the lights and all the fanfare turned off, and he just walked out with no music, no nothing. He's like, "I'm just here to wrestle."
Nice. You don't even get my entrance.
Yep. So at one point, dude, Bobby reversed a super kick into one of the most absolutely beautiful spine busters I have seen from somebody not named Arn or Ron.
Yeah. I liked this match. It was very well wrestled.
I was like, what?
I even liked the finish.
After a series of roll-up attempts, Bobby Roode got the pin. They basically were rolling through each other's roll-ups.
And both of them tried to cheat and grab the tights.
Yep. And Bobby Roode managed to get it.
Yep.
Right after getting the win, like immediately after, Ziggler hit him with a zigzag and walked out.
Yep.
So in my notes I put, to be honest, I don't think it was a terrible match, but I do think it had the worst absolute placement on the card, given how the show had gone.
Yeah, this whole match was just to try to get the crowd back from the very boring title match.
It had to follow 2 very slow-paced and boring matches because the women's and the men's championship matches were back to back.
Title matches, the 2 singles title matches.
Yeah, and it had to follow those. Like the crowd wasn't really getting into it all that well. It had a couple sluggish moments, but nothing that was too egregious. I mean, it was only an 11.5 minute match, so sluggish moments aren't that bad for that short of a match.
Yeah, it's because they don't last long.
But the problem with this match is, with as just okay as it was, it didn't need to be on TV. They could have done this on a SmackDown, which I'm sure they probably did run it back. Would be my guess. But I have no
Well, I
proof.
mean, it's a SmackDown only show, so they had to get they had to fill out a pay-per-view.
So lastly, boop, Falls Count Anywhere match, ladies and gentlemen, in a Hell in a Cell. Here's why I want you guys to know that this just immediately tells you, like, okay, so it's Falls Count Anywhere, which shouldn't even be a stipulation.
It defeats the purpose of the cage.
Yeah.
Because the cage is meant to keep you in.
And it was at this point when they were lowering the cage down, I saw something, and it made me mad.
Uh-oh.
They pre-cut holes into the side of the cage so that the wrestlers have better footholds.
They do that. They do that for all of the AEW just had that in the War Games match they had.
Oh, I know. We're getting there. This was where I first saw it. Because I think I watched this before War Games. It's smart, but I hate it. Because it's like, if you see the footholes, you know someone's climbing.
It's not just for the footholes. It's also for the camera.
The camera up above where the camera can't reach? Like, do you not see?
Well, no, those are totally for that. But it serves two purposes.
The ones on the ground I get. It's just the top one. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't want to be blatantly fucking told what's going to happen before it happens. It's smart. It's safety. I get it. Like, I'm glad they're being safe. Cool. But it's one of those double-edged things where I don't like it either way. Because, yeah, one way it's safe. You got to like that it's safe. But it also ruins something else for me. I remember seeing several people before climb up on top and not need them. So I don't know. It does make me miss the old cage for the cage matches, though.
The old blue one?
Yeah. Blue, then
I
black.
I like that cage. Yeah. I like that cage, too.
So, the history to this match. Shane was a special guest ref for KO versus AJ Styles for the U.S. title at SummerSlam. And there was an altercation that happened between KO and Shane that helped cost KO the win. Now, Shane didn't count fast or anything like that, but it distracted KO, then KO lost. KO got to wrestle once more for the title, and got to pick his own ref, and he picked Baron Corbin, who walked out mid-match because obviously Corbin wanted a title shot himself. So Shane went ahead and took the ref shirt, and KO lost again. Again, Shane didn't speed count or anything. It just so happened that he had to do the pin against KO twice now. Now, obviously, the second time he had no problem doing it because him and KO were still starting to get into their little beef. Vince then suspended Shane after Shane attacked Owens, but brought him back and caught out Owens to schedule the Hell in a Cell match. Afterwards, this is where we got that really, really famous spot that they still show sometimes.
They just showed it not that long ago.
They did. Where KO and Vince go to shake hands, and KO really headbutts Vince. And for those of you that don't know, KO has done recently an interview about this.
Yep, that's where I saw the thing last.
And he straight up explained that, like, Vince told him that he wanted him to really headbutt him, and he was like,
"You better lay it in."
He was like,
what he said. You better lay it in.
He was like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yes." And so he did headbutt the shit out of him. And as he's going to
concussed him,
as he was going to go walk out, Stephanie caught him on the ramp and was pissed. Like legit pissed. This wasn't like, oh, this wasn't.
Yeah, this wasn't kayfabe.
This wasn't kayfabe. She was mad. He goes to the back. Now, obviously, if Dad says to do it, like, look, Vince.
Right, the old man says to do it, you do it. But you also just headbutt her 60-something-year-old. Or no, at that time he would have been 70-something.
Yeah.
Because he just had his 80th birthday.
But I love the way KO tells the story. So yeah, if you guys get a chance, go look it up. I don't remember who he told the story to, but it was
That was the one. Was that the one where he was talking to Cody? That was the Cody one.
It might have been. It might have been the Cody interview. Yeah, where they were like sitting at a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the "What do you want to talk about?" podcast.
There were a few more encounters between Owens and Shane, one of which was after Zayn tried to talk sense into KO, but KO attacked him. Then they got put into a match. During the match, KO powerbombed Zayn onto the apron and fled as Shane came out, which, by the way, further leads me to be really confused by the time this is over. Although up to this point, this actually sounded like what would have been a really compelling story to watch on TV. So a couple things during the match. Shane attacked KO before he even made it into the cage, which was funny. KO was fucking Shane up in front of Shane's kids. And he was like, "Is this your dad?" Beating his ass, dude. It was great. Shane did a perfect shooting star press, which I was not expecting. But he missed.
Yeah. Shane is a good athlete. Shane just is a little crazy.
It was perfect, though. It was perfect. Shane reversed a pop-up powerbomb into a triangle choke, but KO ended up dragging him outside during the choke and slammed him on the steel steps instead. Shane moved and KO cannonballed himself through a table on the outside, which had me worried because that table was not set up very sturdy. Obviously not worried. Like we all know, he was fine after that. He just recently, went on injury for something else. But
yeah, a neck.
Maybe it was this match. You never know.
Yeah, match from 9 years ago. Nearly.
Swerve just recently had knee surgery on something that he hurt several years ago. So I mean, it happens.
Yeah, a knee and a neck are two different things.
Shane hits a coast to coast with a trash can.
It's vintage. That's vintage Shane.
And I'm glad. So commentary called it out because I typed it out before commentary called it out, and it pissed me off. So Shane goes for the pin. KO gets his foot on the ropes. And there shouldn't have been a rope break because falls count anywhere take away rope breaks.
Yep.
And the referee stopped. The referee stopped because his foot were on the rope. And I was like, "Are you fucking?" So, look, guys, refs have always sucked. It's not a new thing.
Nope.
But then the announcer was like, "He must have forgot that it was a false count anywhere and was caught up in the moment." I'm like, way to at least try to save any of it because I was annoyed.
Good on them because that's what they are supposed to do.
Right. Even knowing that both guys are alive and no one has fallen through the cage since Taker and Mick had their thing, there were some pretty.
Mick did another spot falling through a thing, and then I think somebody else did as well, but they've all done them very safely.
Right. It had moments of some really cool spots up on top of the cage, but they kept doing, and I hate it. Like, there's no reason. Like, they kept trying to do the stuff where like they would get near the edge of the cage but hold on to the rope so that they didn't fall. And I don't know, just wrestle in the middle. We all know Shane's going to jump off before it's over because it's a Hell in a Cell match. It's part of his contract.
Yeah, he's just a crazy bastard. He's going to do it one way or the other.
Individual fans, while they were up top, kept yelling at Kyoto to get his ass to the top of the cell so he could get the pin, which had me rolling. I don't know if you were listening to it, but they'd be like, "Get your ass up there, Kyoto."
No, I didn't hear it.
It was,
but
I'm glad the mics.
Funny.
I'm glad the mics picked it up. KO hit a pop-up powerbomb on the cell. He then tries to climb down the cage, but Shane chases him halfway down. Shane slams him a few times into the cage. KO falls to the table. Shane then sets KO up on another table, climbs back up to the top of the cell, jumps off for the elbow drop that he normally always jumps off for to miss, except this time Sami Zayn was there to pull KO off of the table, which then I was confused because I was like, didn't he just power bomb you on on the apron? Who knows?
Love-hate relationship, man.
Yeah, he is. I said Shane is like 0 for 2 or 3 on these elbow drops from tall places.
The table always wins.
Table always wins. At which point, Zayn drags KO on top of Shane, and KO gets the win. Match ran for 39 minutes. I said it was a pretty good Hell in a Cell match with some pretty cool moments. Not like a top of all time Hell in a Cell match, but
It was fine.
I do feel like it served its purpose.
The crazy spots helped. KO's intensity helped.
Like there was a part where KO teased a couple times that he was going to jump off the cell down to Shane.
Yeah. And then he finally just said, "Fuck it, I'm not doing that."
But he couldn't psych. Yeah, he couldn't psych himself up. My problem though is at this point, they start to take Shane out on the stretcher. He's got his thumbs up on the way out, and then the show just stops. Hey guys, there's not a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching or anything. Just
Nope.
stops.
Just the little credit roll and then done.
Over and above all, I think I liked a total of 3 matches. So we're talking about I liked 2 matches and then half of 2 others.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. This wasn't the worst WWE show in the world, but it was far from very. It wasn't great either.
Listen,
There's been better episodes of Raw.
it wasn't quite 2019 bad, but it was getting there. It was getting there.
2019, the pandemic era.
Oh no, that was right before things got started.
Right before the panini.
Yeah, because the pandemic era kicks off in 2020s. But 2019 is largely considered Vince's worst booking
Booked year.
year.
Yeah, I can believe that.
And yeah, so I'm going to turn back on the black bar and the CCW logo because. Oh, did I have another screen? Hold on, let me turn those off. Maybe I had.
Don't
Maybe
you
I had.
remember your own slideshow?
Maybe I had something. Actually, I think it was just a CCW. Yeah, okay. That was where we could talk about it. But yeah, so I think over and above all, I would give that like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, very middle of the road. I give it a 4.5.
Okay, so as I was saying, black bar, CCW symbol, and then we close this, and we get to find out, ladies and gentlemen, what our next
one
show is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shuffle it a couple times. Oh, it's hurting. It's like, please stop.
Please, there's 1,700 shows on here. Stop it.
And we're about to find out what we're going to watch next. Are y'all ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Oh, dude, it's struggling. It is struggling. It's like too many shows.
The weight of all those shows.
Let's go! Something
Ooh.
old, baby.
Ooh, that is interesting.
Listen, I want you guys to know something. One of the things that I really wanted to do when we decided to go back and look at historical pay-per-view, historical quote-unquote, just anything in the past. This is one of those things. I wanted to watch old WCW. I have never, other than going back and watching like the first several Starrcade matches, or first several Starrcades. Like I watched like the first, because like the first 6 to 7 years of WCW's existence, they only had Starrcade. I have only ever watched Starrcade from WCW. I've never seen another WCW pay-per-view ever. So this excites me. This excites me. It's things like this, TNA pay-per-views, and things like that I was super excited to possibly get into. So let me write this down. I probably won't start watching it tonight, but
Considering it's 2 a.m.,
I don't go to bed till like 6 or 7.
you're a crazy person.
I work nights, so I'm used to it.
I'm looking at the card right now, and
Does it look rough?
it looks rough in parts.
So WCW Slamboree 95. It's
There's
called.
a ton of matches.
The tagline was a Legends reunion. It looks like it has 1, 2,
12
3, 4,
matches.
5, 6, 7, 8 matches.
I got 12 on my on Wikipedia.
I'm on Cage Match. Is yours also showing the pre-show matches?
Potentially, it doesn't tell me what's pre-show and what's not.
So the card that I have, they have Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage with Jimmy Hart and the Renegade versus Ric Flair and Vader.
Uh-huh.
Sting versus Big Bubba Rogers.
Uh-huh. Ming versus Hawk.
Road Warrior Hawk versus Ming. Arn Anderson versus Alex Wright.
Uh-huh.
That's probably going to be a good match. The Great Muta versus Paul Orndorff. Wahoo McDaniel versus Dick Murdoch.
Yep.
And there's 2 more matches. The match with no name the man with no name versus Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan, and then the Nasty Boys versus Harlem Heat.
And the Nasty Boys versus Harlem Heat.
Okay, the other stuff must be the pre-show then. Because I've got the Blue Bloods of Lord Steven Regal and Earl Robert Eaton versus Los Especiales, which is literally Espalista 1 and 2. Steve Austin versus Eddie Jackie.
Oh, we're not going to see Steve in WCW. That's sad.
Sergeant Craig Pittman versus Mark Starr. And Ming against Brian Pillman.
Oh, we already talked about the... Oh, I wonder why Ming wrestles twice.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well, the match versus Brian Pillman was only like 4 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, in fact, the one where against against Hawk is only 4 minutes and 41 seconds, so that's weird.
No, how long is the pay-per-view? It had a .57 buy rate. Looks like our commentary team is going to be Bobby Heenan, Eric Bischoff, and Gordon Soyle. Solly?
Doesn't look very long.
How long? Oh, dear God, why am I still in all caps? How long is WCW Slamboree 95? It's a 3-hour event.
Like that match is like 19 minutes. That's 9 minutes 29, 4 minutes, 11 minutes, 14 minutes, 6, 5, 10, and that's the whole main card.
Fascinating. I wonder what ME stands for.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, right there at the very bottom. ME, the match was broadcast prior to the pay-per-view on main event. So that is the pre-show.
Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting nonetheless. We're going to have to find out where we can find it on streaming stuff.
That's give me 1 second. I'm going to pause the video real quick. All right, so yeah, we do have some way to watch it. It's on the Peacock. So
which is good.
One way. It's on Peacock for 2 more weeks. Or a month and a half. I'm sorry. Not even a month and a half. A
That
month.
puts the clock on it.
A month. We have a month. We've got 2 weeks to watch it, but we'll get it. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right, guys, that is going to do it. That is our Hell in a Cell 2017 review for Historical Wrestling Review. Our next time we will talk about WCW Slamboree 95. That's where that's the type of shit I want to see right there.
You say that now until we see some really bad ones.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we love you guys. We'll talk to you next time. Deuces.
Later.